lost faith in pretty much everybody, even myself. I was at a very low point. As soon as I graduated, literally the next day after, my mom said, "You have to get out of here." That was a whole nother situation within itself, but I left. I called my uncle. He came to pick me up, and here it is. I'm starting my life as an adult on my own. So another thing that I want to bring to your attention is I never really had a conversation with either one of my parents about death, but it was something about death that it gave me freaking nightmares. I mean, I was very fearful. I remember when a while back, this is before my grandmother passed, one of my cousins passed, and I just had nightmares for nights. I could not sleep. And, I didn't understand what it was. So that was another thing. I feel like all of these things play a part into how I got sucked into the Jehovah's Witness doctrine. And I pretty much took everything that I learned as face value. So now I want to pretty much get into my story. So like I said, I'm staying with my uncle. I'm out here just trying to figure things out. I tried to apply, to go to college. That didn't work out because they needed my parents' information. Neither one of my parents were talking to me, so I pretty much crossed that out. But then as I was looking online, I found this job readiness program. It was a 3-week program where they teach you how to build skills to be able to get a job and help you build a resume, all the basic necessities that you need to kind of get into the workforce. And in this job program, there was a guy there. Any names that I use are not real names, but we're going to call him Alan. There was a guy there named Alan, um, who I have not noticed in the 3 weeks of me being there. Apparently, he had been sitting next to me, behind me, trying to get my attention, and for some reason, I just didn't take notice of him at all. So the day before our graduation for the class that I was in, he approached me, and I remember him asking for my number, and I kid you not, you guys, everything inside of me was like, you are not into this dude. Like, don't give him your number. But I gave him my number. Anyways, I don't know why, but I gave him my number. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think he called me either that night or the next day. And when we talked on the phone, I definitely felt a connection. I didn't have any friends. I wasn't close to anybody in my family at the time. I literally was a loner. I had nobody. And it felt good to be able to, connect and just have a decent conversation with somebody and be able to just be myself. So we moved on pretty quick, you guys. He became my boyfriend in a week. I think he told me he loved me in a week. And I just was going with the motions. We're young. There's that puppy love phase. Um, it's a lot going on. So in the midst of us being together, I'm gonna say like within a 3-week month, he started mentioning the Kingdom Hall. I did not know what a Kingdom Hall was, but he was explaining to me that he was raised in this religion. Um, I'm gonna make very clear right now, he was not baptized. He was raised in a religion. His grandmother and a couple of other family members of his were baptized Jehovah's Witnesses, but he was not. But he had the knowledge of this religion and basically been around it his whole life. So, and I basically told him, I broke it down to him. I'm like, look, I'm not really into religion. I do consider myself to be a spiritual person, and I feel like I have my own personal relationship with God, and I'm really just not into any of the religious stuff. So I'm good on that. And every time he brung it up, I just felt like he was like pretty much trying to pressure me into saying yes. Me saying no just was not enough for him. So then he introduced me to his grandmother. We're going to call her Gail. Alan introduced me to Gail. She was a really nice lady. We were at her house the first night that I was introduced to her, and we all were sitting in her room. Gail and Alan were sitting at her window. I was sitting on the edge of her bed, and I just remember this like yesterday. And this was pretty much my introduction to Jehovah's Witnesses. So I remember them sitting over there having a conversation. Her face looked pretty serious, and he's just kind of listening to Gail. And then she's like, Alan, do you want to die? So he's like, no, Grandma, I don't. At this point, I'm nervous, you guys. I don't know why she would ask him something like that. This is somebody who I care about. He's my boyfriend. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on. Is somebody going to hurt him? Is this something that, I need to know? Because with my interactions with him, he's never said anything, remotely close to like something being wrong. So why is she asking him this? So I just had to know. So I said, excuse me, well, why? What do you mean he's going to die? So her face went from this very serious face to like her eyes light up. She puts on this big smile and she just directly turns to me. She gets up from the chair she's sitting in. She sits on the edge of the bed next to me. She digs in her purse and she pulls out a yellow book. I'm pretty sure most know what this yellow book is, but for those who don't, the yellow book is What Does the Bible Really Teach book. And this is a Bible aid that Jehovah's Witnesses use. Well, they were using this. I think they did some type of upgrade to the book, but when they had this Bible aid, they would use this to start Bible studies with. So she opens it up. I remember the page being blue, and it basically talks about all of these things that God is going to do for us, on a paradise earth, you know, nobody being sick anymore, the lame will walk again, all of these things. But then I pretty much got hooked when she brung out the resurrection. And keep in mind, one of the closest people to me died. And there was no better thought than to be able to see my best friend, my grandmother, again. It sounded amazing to me. So, of course, she sees that I'm interested. And she's like, would you like to start a Bible study? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. So she was supposed to start a Bible study with me, but I believe that following weekend, I went to my very first Sunday meeting at the Kingdom Hall. I was introduced to this one brother and sister. They were a married couple. We are going to call them brother and sister Poppin, because that's exactly what was going on. In this congregation, they were very popular. They was popping. So brother and sister popping, they had all these Bible studies. I mean, they was doing their thing, you know. People spoke very highly of them. So sister popping was studying with me. Brother popping started studying with Alan, my boyfriend at the time. We could not study together because we were not married at the time. So in the midst of me having this Bible study, of course, I cannot remember how open and honest I was with her, but I think she assumed that, we had to have been sexually active. And um, I remember for the first time I heard the word fornication. Prior to me having this Bible study, I never heard that word a day in my life. So when I found out what fornication was, I was like, wow, like I didn't even know that was a thing, you know? Sex before marriage, wow. And I didn't even know how God really felt about that. I don't want to upset God. I don't want to upset Jehovah. So we did our damnness uh, to not have any sexual activity. It wasn't easy, but we did it. And things just got a little hard for us. So we decided, let's show them how serious we are. We're in love. We've been together for like 2 months. Let's just really show them that this is what we want. So we decided we were going to get married. I remember Alan calling Brother Poppin and asking if we were going to be able to get married at the Kingdom Hall. Brother Poppin made very clear he wouldn't be able to marry us or us be married at the Kingdom Hall because, neither one of us were baptized. So Alan and I decided to go to the courthouse. So probably like maybe a good 3.5 weeks later, that's exactly what we did. We ended up getting married, legally married. So as you can see, you guys, once I was hooked, it didn't take long for this organization to influence my life and my decisions and the way that I thought. You don't have to be a Jehovah's Witness or to get baptized for this organization to have an effect on your life. I mean, that's been proven time and time and again. I am going to share part 2 of my story very soon. I really appreciate everybody who has taken the time out to just hear this. I have so much to tell you guys. I've been holding this in for a long time, and I think it's important for people to know. Please, 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 please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy.